I'm John Walsh, author of The Art of Storytelling, published by Moody Publishers, a book that's been in print for over 15 years and is used around the world by pastors and Christian workers. Also wrote Successful Living, a Bible course on Proverbs that's being used by Christian schools and homeschoolers around the world. And also I've written All the Stories of the Bible, again, used by missionaries and ministries around the world. I recently have published a new book called I'm Not a Duck. This is just a collection of personal stories that show my life journey. Even though it's a fun read and an interesting read, it deals with many issues. Let me just list a few of them for you. First of all, I deal with the fact about my learning problems that I had and how I was a failure at school and finally found a way to be graduated from college. I deal with my stuttering. I have stuttered my entire life, and I deal with how I work with that. The title itself, I'm Not a Duck, comes from the Hans Christian Andersen story about the ugly duckling. So, basically, it shows how I found my identity, and rather than trying to fit in with what other people expected of me. In this, I talk about how I learned to submit to authority and how that was a problem in my life. Along that same line, about a boss that I had who wanted to fire me, and I wanted to quit, but neither of us were allowed to do so. So we were stuck with one another. And I deal with that, how we learn over a hard journey to get along. I deal with the success of failing most of the time. Failure is a very big part of success, and I deal with that. About forgiving. And not only forgiving, but then God showing me that I needed to do good for the person who had offended me. I deal with a transgender child, and how I don't deal with from her viewpoint, his viewpoint, but as a father and what I went through as my daughter made herself into a boy, a man, and how I didn't know what to do. God finally had to take my hand and step by step lead me down the path until now the two of us are best of friends. I deal with starting a worldwide ministry, Bible telling, used around the world. I also give the backstory for how I wrote Successful Living and all the stories of the Bible and the art of storytelling, and how two of those three I didn't want to do. God kind of, again, forced me down that path. Matter of fact, the whole book deals with God doing that. It's how I dealt with the will of God and how usually I didn't like it. But God, again, took me by the hand and helped me accept His will. Well, the book comes in print, ebook, and audiobook. I even have a YouTube video on each, that's a supplement for each chapter. I trust you'll take a look at it and think about the possibility that we can work together on an interview.